Hello everyone. Today is 22nd of December, which is exactly 10 weeks from 13th of October when I first started taking creatine. In that time, I made a video called Physique Before Creatine where I showed my body how it looks before creatine. I showed my weight and my measurements. And in this video, I want to show you the before and after of that, the sort of progress I've made from taking creatine for 10 weeks. However, I think that simply showing the before and after doesn't really tell the full story because there is no way for anyone to know how much creatine actually helped. Maybe I changed my nutrition as well, maybe I changed my training, both in terms of training plan and the training intensity, because since I'm taking creatine, an external supplement, I might be more motivated to take my strength training more seriously. So there's no real way for you to know how much creatine actually helps unless you isolate the effect of creatine, you treat creatine as the variable and keep everything else as the constant. And that is exactly what I've tried to do, which I'll show you in this video. So instead of showing you only the 10 weeks of before and after, I'll actually go back 20 weeks. I'll go back to 4th of August, which is also exactly 10 weeks before 13th of October, when I seriously started bulking. I have tried my best to keep my nutrition and training as similar as possible throughout this entire period. I've trained as hard as I possibly can. The program was also the same, and since I eat basically the same things every day, it was not very difficult for me to keep my nutrition the same as well. So I'll show you the first 10 weeks of result from 4th of August to 13th of October, and then I'll show you the result of 13th of October to today, and that's how you can really see what sort of progress I made without creatine and then what sort of progress I made keeping everything else the same and only adding creatine. Alright, so this is what I looked like on 4th of August. I was 61 kg or 134.4 pounds. My height is 172 centimeters or barely 5'8", and that's when I started bulking, and this is my body measurement of that time. Unfortunately, I don't have a flexing video. The flexing videos were only taken on October and December. Alright, so after 10 weeks of training, by the way, my training cycle looks something like this. It's 4 weeks of hard training, then 1 week of deload. So in total 5 weeks makes one mesocycle. So 10 weeks or 2 mesocycles later, we come to 13th of October, and I was weighing at 68 kg or 149.9 pounds. This is what I look like after 10 weeks of training without the creatine, and this was my body measurement at that time. So I gained 7 kgs in 10 weeks or about 15.4 pounds in 10 weeks, which is actually quite a lot. However, it is important to remember whenever you're starting your bulk or when you're bulking in general, it's not like the weight you're gaining is just split between fat and muscle. Most of the weight that you gain, at least in the beginning, it's water retention and glycogen. However, it's also pretty clear that I gained quite a bit of fat in that time period, as my waist went up from 30.3 inches to 33.2 inches. That's almost 2 inches of increase in my waist. And this is the video of me flexing, which I already uploaded on YouTube in October. So that was the progress from training without creatine, and finally we come to the final transformation of the video. So 10 more weeks later, on 22nd of December, I am weighing at exactly 72 kg or 159.7 pounds. This is the final after photos of this video, and this is what my body measurements look like right now. So I gained about 10 pounds in the last 10 weeks, which is about a pound per week. I think that's pretty reasonable. One thing that is quite significant in this portion of the transformation is that I did not gain any size in my waist, and I am quite diligent when it comes to measuring myself. I always measure at the same time, which is right after waking up, peeing and pooping, no food, not even any liquid. So I think it's pretty good. I'm guessing I did not gain a whole lot of fat this time. And fortunately, all my other body parts saw increase in size, especially in my legs where the rate of progress was the highest. So this is a before and after photos of all the pictures, baseline, pre-creatine, post-creatine. And again, as I said, all the pictures are taken at the same time, right after waking up. And obviously there is no pump and they are in the same lighting as well. And this is the flexing video after taking creatine for 10 weeks. I'll try to put those videos side by side together so that you can really see the difference. This is a chart that I created to visualize my muscle size increase with and without creatine. You can pause the video if you want to take a better look. And finally, we come back to something that I said towards the start of this video, which is that simply showing the before and after does not tell the full story. If we really want to show the effect of a supplement like creatine, we need to isolate that and we need to show the rate of progress, keeping everything else the constant. So here's the chart that I created to show the rate of progress. You will see that there was 0% increase for waist after taking creatine, and other than shoulders and mostly legs, the rate of change is basically the same. There's hardly any difference between with and without creatine. So now I'll talk about the positive and negative side effects of creatine on training, my life, and everything else that is relevant. So in terms of positive effect, I don't think I saw any difference in my energy or strength, especially for lower rep range, like anything below 5 reps. There was hardly any change that I saw from creatine. Now I feel like that there was slight improvement in the grindability of my reps for higher repetition exercises, anything beyond 8 reps or especially anything beyond 10 reps. I felt like I was able to grind out the reps more than previously, but then it's not really easy to tell if it was due to creatine or not. Maybe I'm just getting stronger overall, or maybe I'm just getting better at those exercises. But honestly, in terms of like energy in my day-to-day life or training, I hardly saw any difference. Talking about cognitive improvement, this is also something that is talked about as a positive thing of creatine. And as someone whose job requires a lot of cognitive loading, I can say with a high degree of certainty that I did not see any improvement in that department as well. So to talk about the positive effects, I don't think there was any, or it was definitely not very noticeable. There might be some improvements for higher rep range, but other than that, I felt nothing. And even in terms of muscle size increase, I don't know how much creatine actually helped in that regard, because I feel like I could have got the same progress even without creatine. If I kept my diet and my training the same, I probably would have made the same progress anyway. A lot of people who take creatine, they usually see drastic weight change due to water retention. However, if you look at my bulking progress graph, where I took my weight every single week on Sundays right after waking up, you'll see that even after the 10th week, there was no real, there was not a drastic improvement in weight. So I'm not sure how much creatine helped there. So I'm quite suspicious of the positive effects, at least on me. And talking about negative effects, fortunately, just like positives, I also don't think there was any, at least noticeable negative effects. People talk about hair loss. I don't know if 10 weeks is enough to cause that sort of problem, but I can say is that my hair is quite intact, and it can be evident from seeing the photos of me before taking creatine. So in terms of both positives and negatives, I'll say there was hardly anything noticeable. It's a bit unfortunate because as someone who doesn't eat a whole lot of meat, I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't eat meat a lot. I thought creatine would be especially helpful for me. Some people have said that people who don't eat meat, when they start taking creatine, it can be almost life changing. But even if there was some improvement, maybe I'm ignoring that, maybe I'm expecting too much. But it was definitely, I can say that with 100% certainty, that it was definitely not life changing. So what I'm planning is that I'll stop taking creatine from now and see what sort of progress I make. If I see that my progress is going down, my muscle size is going down, then sure, I'll be like, okay, I was wrong, and I can start taking creatine again. But from today, I'll stop taking creatine. I mean, I'll take a few days more because I still have some left in my creatine tub. But okay, after that, I'll stop taking. Finally, to end this video, I have three possible conclusions. Number one is that maybe creatine did everything it was supposed to do. Maybe I was expecting too much. Maybe it was overhyped by a lot of people who have a financial incentive to overhype this supplement. Maybe it was just working as well. I was overhyped to begin with. The second conclusion is that maybe it works, but 10 weeks is not enough to show its all benefits. Usually, most other videos on this topic are 30 days, and that's the reason I didn't want to do that for 30 days, because I felt like 30 days is generally not enough to show a complete before and after, to show its actual results. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe even 10 weeks is not enough. Maybe I should have done it for, like, I don't know, 4 months, 6 months. And the final conclusion is that maybe I'm just genetically non-responder or a very low responder, which is very sad. Again, as I mentioned before, I don't eat a lot of meat, so I expected a lot of things. But if I am a low responder, then I guess that's out of my control. So nothing I can do about that. So I think that's all for the video. Like and subscribe if you want to. And I think, yeah, I have nothing else to say. Bye.